Hello, and welcome back. Wah, 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 wah. I'm in a silly mood. I'm very excited. Thank you for watching the replay, and welcome to this AMA, VeeDao AMA, with actor, director, creative Matthew Lillard. I have like a special excitement today because you may or may not know, I'm an actor and I'm a big fan of Matthew Lillard. I couldn't tell you like everything about his career, but I've loved the work that I've seen. And we actually went to the same college at different times. And so I'm very excited to catch up with him and see how he's navigating the NFT space and now launching his own project. So this AMA, we'll be talking to Matthew, but he and his partner, Bill Wirity, not exactly sure how to say, Bill Wirity, are launching a project called Midnight Movie Club, which is a DAO-based feature film studio, decentralized movie studio. And I just think it's an awesome idea. So I'm excited. Without further ado, let's get into it. This is going to be fun. Hey, everybody. Glad to see you. Welcome in. Hello. I see Movie Club NFT in the house. Good to see you. So thank you for being here. It is Monday, January 31st in the VeeDao Discord, and we're going to be talking with Matthew Lillard, one of the creators behind the Midnight Movie Club. And this is going to be very exciting. I think I'm personally excited because as an actor, I'm a fan of Matthew. I've seen his work, but I also think building a DAO in 2022 is a very difficult task, and I'm excited to see how they came to that conclusion and how they're navigating the challenges, what they're looking forward to. I think it's gonna be good. I see Matthew in the audience. I'm gonna invite him up, and I'm glad that you're all here. I hope you enjoy. Hey, Movie Club.
Hey, how you doing? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, I'm doing well.
Awesome. Great to be here. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. And are you Bill behind the?
I'm Bill. Yeah,
okay.
I'm Bill. It's me and Matthew. He should be here soon. I think he's hopping in the Discord and probably doing the verify process right now.
Yeah, I see him in the audience. I think he just has to accept the invite. Yeah, thank you.
Cool.
Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you guys for reaching out. I appreciate it. There he is.
I'm thrilled. Hey, Matthew, welcome.
Hey, what's happening, guys? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we sure can.
Hell yeah. What's up?
Let's go.
Let's F and G.
LFG. There we go. So, this can be a really more of a conversation than an interview. I think there's a lot to be excited about in your project, and I'll link it for everybody in the voice channels text. If this is your first time at our AMAs, above the stage is the voice channels text. It's where you can chat and ask questions. I think at the end we'll have some time to bring people up for to ask questions themselves.
Yeah, great.
But I really am excited to hear about both of your individual journeys, not just as creatives, but into the crypto space, like how you're seeing this as a solution to the problems in Hollywood. And like, let's just talk about the whole mission after that. So for those who don't know you, I'd love if you could just introduce yourselves and say hello.
Yeah.
So you want to start, partner?
Sure. I'm Bill Wirity, co-creator of the Midnight Movie Club, and yeah, we're just excited to be here. Do you want me to you say hello, Matt, and then we'll explain what we're doing?
Yeah. My name's Matthew Lillard. I'm an Aquarius. I like long walks on the beach. My day job is I'm a professional actor. Have been an actor now for damn near 78 years. And I'm brand new into NFTs, and we, even being brand new, we decided to launch something that we're really excited to share with your community today. We've been lifting it now since December. And yeah, it's like Bill said very early on as we jumped in, like one day in the NFT space feels like a year. And so I feel like an OG, even though I started in December. But go ahead, Bill. Why don't you talk a little about the project, and then and then we'll go from there.
Cool. Yeah. So yeah, basically, I guess I got into NFTs. Actually, got into them. It was in September, back when I first found SVS was starting.
Okay.
Got on their whitelist, minted that. So that was kind of my first NFT. Kind of got hooked after that. I heard about them like everybody else, like the March before that when it was kind of exploding, but didn't really get really into it because I didn't really understand it. I was like, oh, they're just expensive JPEGs. I was like, I don't understand this. Then I started to dive into it with the Sneaky Vamps, and I saw what they were doing. And yeah, it was interesting just the way that there was more utility to it than I thought. It wasn't just the image that you were buying. Like they were doing a video game and they were doing this DAO where everyone could vote and stuff. So that sort of got my brain working, in terms of like the filmmaking side of stuff. And I was like, I think we can like find a way to bring the community in. Because the one thing, like, we're looking more like to change the indie space. We're not looking to change like Hollywood, across the board. Like, and maybe that'll trickle down eventually, but we're focusing on smaller genre movies. And so I started to think, I'm like, I never really got into the Kickstarter things. I just always felt weird asking people for money and then just kind of giving them a t-shirt and a credit and stuff. And I was like, all this stuff with the DAO, like that allows us to let people participate and actually make decisions with like the creative aspects of the movie, like along the way. And then that way too, like they're all participating. So you can allow people who, live in the middle of like Iowa that like love film, but have no way to like actually be a part of it, to like now join our club and then like have all these different opportunities to vote on movies that we're making, meet other filmmakers that might be in their area. We have a whole other side that the membership will have called the Night School. We're going to have tutorial videos. We're going to teach people how to do budgets and schedules. We're going to bring on professionals, producers, casting people, art department, and like whoever our community wants to talk to. We're going to try to bring in professionals for them to talk to and do AMAs with, just to kind of get the next generation of filmmakers more access to resources and stuff, and kind of help like elevate them a little bit. So that was the idea behind the project. I was kind of working on it for a while, and then I called up Matthew and was like, "Hey, I got this crazy idea with NFTs and film. We should talk." And he's like, "Let's meet up tomorrow." And so we grabbed coffee. That was in December, and then a couple weeks later, because I was already working on the site and some of the white paper stuff, and a couple weeks later, we just like launched everything and started the Discord. And yeah, it's been a roller coaster ever since. And it's been amazing. Like I'm so glad to see so many other communities that I've admired coming up like throughout the NFT space, like collaborating with us, bringing us on to do their spaces. Like the fact that like out of the gate, the Sneaky Vamps brought us on to come talk, and they're helping us. Like their dev team is going to be doing our smart contract through Latency Labs, which is their company for building smart contracts and doing Web3 development. So they're like, one of the best in the business. I'm very excited to have Wolf and Freddie working on that with us. And yeah, it's just been really welcoming. And, it's, again, for Matt to come into the space, not really knowing what to expect, I was like, no, everyone's really friendly, really welcoming, and everyone helps each other out. It's not competitive. Every project is trying to help each other out because, when one of us succeeds, we all succeed, because it's really about just getting the space to be more mainstream. It's not about, individual projects necessarily,
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. And then here we are with you guys.
That's great. No, I'm glad you started there, because one of my questions was like, what other projects like have you been learning from? Which communities have you been a part into? Like, because what you're doing, I think, is exactly what everyone should be doing in whatever scale suits them. Like, get into the technology, actually try and launch something. And I love that you guys are hitting the ground running. But besides SVS, what other projects have you been following, like that sort of brought you up?
Yeah. So, I mean, I will say that, I think that, I think that's the thing that I'm most surprised about. I mean, I was listening to NFT Now, the podcast yesterday, and, they were just talking about how the community is so open. And I know that sounds cliche, and I'm sure people are saying it all the time when you get them up here, but the crazy thing is that when you reach out and you ask for help, the world is coming back and sort of giving us help. So Chain Runners, I did a movie called Hackers. That like every day they say hack the planet. So they're like, oh my God, you're doing NFTs. So we got in there and we did, a trivia night with them. And on the side, all the devs were like, hey, what bots are you running? Like, what can we do? Like, let us introduce you to people. So that's been an incredible community for us. This is our 4-week anniversary. We started, we dropped like my hey good morning tweet to the NFT space.
I don't even know if it's been 4 weeks, because didn't we launch on the 10th?
Oh, 3 weeks. It's been 3 weeks.
Wow.
Like I said, I feel like an old man now. I am an old man. I feel like the NFTs are making me older by the day. So it's our 3-week anniversary, and on the first day we dropped, we got punched in the face. I mean, I don't know what
Mm.
people's experience is if outside of the NFT Twitter space. For me, look, I'm an actor and I have 300,000 followers. I'm like, oh my God, we're going to blow this up. I mean, people are going to freak out about it because we're doing something super cool. And the reality was the backlash was so crazy from the Twitter sort of non-NFT space that it really sort of like rocked us for a second. And if it wasn't for sort of the collaboration with Sneaky Vamps, with Chain Runners, we're doing stuff with Alpha Girls next week. We've got,
Nice.
I mean, in the last, literally in the last 5 days, we've had like 10 huge projects come to us and say, hey, let's do stuff. Let's host spaces. Let's do another movie night. So
Great.
We're really excited about the momentum that's building, because I think what we're finding is that going into the space, sorry if I'm talking so much, I get excited at these things,
No.
but we go into the space and I feel like people are like, oh, like we're both, we've both got our name on it, which is different than a lot of places.
Mhm.
Where all the money goes back in the community wallet to make movies. We're super focused on utility. We're super focused on providing for the community. And the response to that sort of approach has been really great. And so we're growing in a really grassroots way. And it's just been awesome. And this is part of that. I mean, we're super humbled to be here. We're super grateful for you allowing us to bring it to your community. So thank you for coming who reached out to us and put this together, because it's really a great opportunity for us.
Yeah,
super
in terms of,
excited you guys came.
oh yeah, and in terms of like other projects that we've been following, I mean, like I have my personal Discord account, the other one, like I'm in so many Discord groups that it's outrageous. You know how it gets, like with those notifications where you're like, shit, went away for the weekend and now there's 1,000 missed messages. But yeah, I mean, other projects that I'm like a holder of is like Crypto Dads. I have a Crypto Mom. I think, let's see what else, like Sappy Seals, Humanoids. Nice. I have a Journey Club. I own some land, and so I've just been like in a bunch of different communities. Some that I was able to get on their whitelist and get NFTs for, others that I wasn't, but I still follow the community. But what I kind of did was I sort of like, when I went to meet with Matthew, I was like, showing him like, hey, these are the different communities. Here's what these ones are all doing right. And we sort of piecemealed what we liked about all like the way that they were running their projects. And we kind of just took, like, oh, we like what they're doing with this. We like what this group's doing with that. And kind of just use it to make this, we try to be as secure with our Discord stuff as possible. We try to be as like open to the community and available. Like we didn't want to just be like, hey, like, look, Matthew Lillard, like he's part of this. And then he just disappears and we just use his name. Like, he's addicted to the chat. Like Matt's in there. Like,
it's really upsetting.
Awesome.
I really do not need another hobby. And I'm literally looking at right now, like Crisis is out there and Serial Mommy's out there, like Amy, like our people are out there. And look, it's funny. I didn't get Discord. This is not how I operate my life until this came along. And now like I'm checking my Discord all the time. And it feels like you have friends. I'm like, I don't know what these people look like, but I sort of love them.
I could vouch that Matt is in there on a daily basis, just chatting with everybody, responding to the most ridiculous things that people are talking about. He's responding to breakfast. What are you doing? How's your day going?
Well, yeah, it's like normal. Look, here's the thing. I have a weird job. I'm a super normal human being, and you get engaged with people, and I like the sort of interaction. I don't know. It's really great. Look, we've definitely had a moment where we've had to like sort of figure out how to get away from people that love the idea of Matthew Lillard, and because that's not what we're about. We're about building a community that's about people that love genre movies, and we're gonna go make movies as a community. Like that's the focus.
Yeah, let's talk about that more, because I just for everybody who's in the chat, and both of you should check it out because they're just dropping a bunch of Matt Lillard gifs.
That
was like day one.
Yeah.
Nonstop.
But I put the link to the white paper there, and I was reading it today, and I love that the first thing you came out with was like, we can make better movies. Like, let's make better movies. So like, talk to us about that a little bit. That
was the whole thesis. Yeah, that's kind of like the thesis of our project was so many of like me and other filmmaker friends and just friends from back home. Like I was asking people what good movies they saw, and everyone's like, nothing's really good out, or I don't watch movies anymore. I just watch TV. And it was kind of sad just to see like where film has kind of gone, because all the mainstream stuff is so overproduced and ran by the marketing teams. And I get it. It's a film business and you got to put this actor in because they're going to bring in this box office and you want to cover 4 quadrants 4 quadrants is like, all the different age groups from like, kids under 12, 12 to 16, 24. There's like all the different age groups and stuff. So you want to make a movie that appeals to everybody, PG-13, so you're seeing a lot of like reboots and derivative stuff that's on existing IP, that's based off a book or a comic so it felt like all the original stuff was really getting pushed to the bottom, which is like not what we grew up with. We grew up with like some really bizarre movies that had crazy concepts, and the only people that get to really play in that sandbox anymore are like if you're like a Christopher Nolan, where you're so big, like only he could pitch like an Interstellar or an Inception. Everyone else would be like, no, and it's like Inception, like you're crazy. That movie's not going to work. Like no one would get that movie made. So we're like, let's go back to like making movies that are fun. And all these marketing departments are, like, oh, well, we know what the audience wants. And we do polls at malls and stuff. And we're like, well, why don't we just actually ask the audience and have them help us make the movie? And then we were cutting out the middleman and just like, making movies with people and stuff that people want to see. And we thought it'd be really fun to give it a try. And we just saw it as an opportunity to kind of create like, use NFTs to create like sort of a Kickstarter on steroids where people can actually participate and not just, donate money and just wait for the movie to come out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just to jump in there. I mean, the idea. Look, it's funny because since we put our name on it, we've been answering a lot of questions. Like people coming back to me in my life, going, "Why are you doing this? Why don't you just do Kickstarter? Why don't you just do Patreon?" And the idea is like, look, we are new to the space. I mean, we're not just a really expensive NFT, which is great. That's fantastic. I love the collector aspect of it, but what we're trying to do is allow that NFT to provide people access to something different.
Yeah.
And so anywhere in the world, if you want to be a part of like, hey, we're literally going to we start making movies. Our whole thing is utility. We're going to mint in February and we go into production in March or April, right? So February, March,
April, May, probably. Yeah.
Okay. April, May. So Bill never wants me to lie. Bill's like, whatever you do, only promise what you can do.
Yeah.
So,
hedge a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also we'll be in pre-production, and you got to, obviously the COVID stuff's always, you never know where that's going to be because that is a hindrance on productions. But
caveat.
But like to your point, as soon as possible, right?
Yeah.
So we're shooting movies. The money goes into the wallet.
Going to pre-production, immediately into like development, all that stuff.
And so we start making a movie. The next movie we make, we're going to bring filmmakers in. They're going to pitch their project. They're going to pitch decks. They're going to have pages. We have to go through what that is, what that looks like. But they're going to bring it to our community, and our community is going to pick the movie that they want to make. And we're going to go out and finance and shoot that movie. So, and everything in that. There's a character in the movie that we're going to shoot February, March, April, May, or June that has like a band shirt in it. This is my favorite example. So there's a band shirt in it that's got to be like sort of a hardcore band shirt. And we're like, hey.
It's integral to the plot, too. It's a plot point.
It's a pop point. So wouldn't it be cool if we had our community design the shirt and, have everyone in our community, get to put in for a contest, who gets to design the shirt, have the DAO decide, the community vote as to whose shirt is going to be in the movie, and then put that shirt in the movie. Like simple things like that. So it goes big to like, which movie are we making, to simple stuff like, hey, isn't this a cool little thing that we can add you to? And then doing things like, daily check-ins. You get to see dailies from the movie. You get to see behind the scenes interviews, like all of that stuff, the entire filmmaking process. We think super fun and exciting.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, looking at the project, a few things jump out to me as like like the value proposition, right? Like the fact that you have made this utility heavy. I know you haven't put out the mint price yet, but I also thought to myself, this might be way more effective and cost effective than going to film school. Like if you want to just like participate in the industry, like this is probably the cheapest and easiest way to do it in an entirely new space where you're going to learn along the way, just generally, how to collaborate, how these decisions are made.
Yeah. And that was my big goal with like the night school aspect of it. Because I went to film school, I went into a bunch of debt, you know what I mean? And no one ever asked for my film degree at any job I've ever went to in the industry. And you'll meet people on set where it's like, oh, where did you go to school? Like, oh, I didn't. This is like my summer job. My uncle, is like a grip and he got me on. And you're like, oh, okay. So I didn't really need to go to film school for all that. So I wanted to like offer a way for people to like, obviously there's tons of stuff on YouTube already for free. But what we want to bring on top of that is we want to have, like obviously like more in-depth tutorials with like, again, the scheduling, budgeting. We want to bring these industry professionals that we've met along our careers to come on and like let people actually get access to them. But even above that, we want to allow our community members to like work on the film. So like if we're shooting a movie in Atlanta or Chicago or wherever that, sometimes we'll go places with tax incentives, or LA. If you're a community member that lives in that area and you're like, hey, I want to work art department, I've always been interested in that. And it's like, well, then come on and be like an art PA or a props PA, or if you're interested in directing, come shadow the director for the shoot.
Yep.
And yeah, so it's like we want to be able to empower our community. And if you're, so let's say you're living in Australia or the UK or somewhere far away, well, we still want you to participate. So again, like we said with the T-shirt contest, or there's so much art department stuff in a movie that has to get cleared, and you can't put up like fake real movie posters or band photos. You got to like get that cleared and pay money, or you can have the art department make your own. So if we have graphic designers that want to make a fake movie poster with their friends and stuff, and then we put that up in like the kid's bedroom, or like there's all kinds of different things and ways you can participate. Like we're even thinking about after the movie's shot, we'll release like a bunch of footage from it and let people cut their own fan trailers to put online, so we can actually let people do some editing work and show off their skills, and then that can go on their reel. It's just kind of like we want to like give more opportunity to people that like basically all the things I tried to Google when I was in film school that weren't available online. We want to be like, let's give those to people. Let's teach people how to do that stuff.
Host film festivals, put writers with directors, directors with actors. Sort of build community.
Yeah. Have you guys decided approximately what the mint price is going to be?
$7,000.
No, it's gonna be, we're looking at around like $400. We just don't know what the way Ethereum is going. We don't want to put an ETH price on it, but yeah, we're looking at around probably $400.
We're only minting 5,555.
Yeah.
Is that because you guys are Gary Vee fans? Because that's his favorite number.
Oh, is it really?
It's actually, like 5 is my lucky number, and then also we just thought it'd be cool because like in movies, the fake phone number is always 555.
Yep.
Oh, that is cool.
That's kind of where we came up with that.
So just in full disclosure, we throw Gary Vee audio podcasts back and forth constantly. Because look, the reality is, on 3 weeks ago when we launched, like 38 people joined our Discord. And when 38 people join your Discord, you're like, oh, and I got punched in the face by the world because NFTs are quote unquote destroying everything.
Yeah.
That I was like, oh my God. I'm going to get canceled. I mean, right now in Seattle, I didn't tell you this, Bill, but there's an article that came out today in Seattle in The Stranger that said, Matthew Lillard, you're dead to us until all this NFT bullshit, passes over.
Oh my gosh.
So so in my life is like, I have to feed my kids, and
that's real life blood, by the way.
That's
I feel bad.
Yes.
Yeah. Seattle. We were talking about shooting in Seattle as one of the locations too.
Yeah. But the idea of starting at, I don't know, my point is that, starting at 38 people, I don't know what the hell else.
You were saying you throw around Gary Vee's podcast.
Like 300,000 people come flooding in, and then 38 people came in. It was sort of a reality check.
Yes, exactly. So, and I don't know why. I was saying that, but it's
it just blindsided us because again, I wasn't really into Twitter before getting into crypto and NFTs and stuff, and again, being in crypto Twitter, it's like everyone's nice and friendly, helping each other out. So we were totally blindsided. I was like, I forgot about this other venomous, toxic side of Twitter that's out there.
Yeah,
it is. There's two sides to Twitter. It's amazing how there is two sides to Twitter, and I think that actually the crypto NFT side of Twitter, I think, has overtaken the regular Twitter.
Yeah-ish.
Yeah.
Over time.
Because oh, by the way, that's what it was. Gary Vee, so his podcast, we throw it back and forth because
he's got like a ton of it.
all the ones all about NFTs.
Okay.
Yeah. Because what happens is that
saying how people are like, naysaying it the same way they naysay Twitter, the way they said like the internet's not going to be a thing. It's just to remind us like, hey, people are just not. These aren't the early adopters that are the audience right now. They will be eventually.
They did the same thing with crypto till like a year and a half ago. Everybody's doing it for 4 or 5 years, and everyone's like, it's not real. It's only for fake money laundering. And then here you are, Jimmy Fallon with his ape that he bought with crypto.
Yeah. But that's it. It is the thing. Is like the idea of. That was the point from 38 on day one to 3 weeks later. Sort of the thing that gets you through to success is people believing in you, right? And even though he's throwing that in the ether, even though he's saying it on his podcast, it's almost as if he's been speaking to us because, it gets dark when you're like, oh my God, did I completely screw this up? And have I ruined my career? And now I've been canceled in Seattle. And like all of a sudden you're like, am I doing the wrong thing? And then you get these sort of, I mean, and I'm sure a lot of people, here have listened to what he has to say, but my whole thing is like, we've jumped in, we're trying to build something, and his words have like really inspired us to keep going. And, so far it's starting to pick up steam, which is exciting.
Yeah. Have you documented this journey? Because I know this is a journey, and I hope like you enjoy the process of start from 38 people to where it'll be. And have you been like vlogging your journey so you can look back at it?
There's constantly times where I'm telling Matt I'm like, we got to screenshot this, like that, like when someone puts a comment of like, this project's going nowhere, this is going there, like if there's something like, hey, save that screenshot for later, where it's gonna feel real good. It's kind of like I remember saving all my like different rejection letters throughout the year. I remember the famous story of Stephen King. Whenever he would submit a book and they would send him a rejection, he would save those and put them above his desk to make him work harder. And I kind of had the same kind of mentality throughout the course of my career, where I'm like, every time someone says no, you can't do that, I'm going to prove them wrong. So just, this is just another layer of that.
Even more so, I think Matt should literally, and you, Bill, should just literally set a GoPro up. And as you're doing like the AMA today, as you're holding your phone or standing and talking into your computer screen, you should have a camera videoing you doing this, so you can look back in a year, 2 years
pretty good.
Now.
It's a pretty good idea. It's a pretty good idea. But it's a little like, look, I think that.
Who cares? Even footage never makes it to light. It's your private own footage, and you can look back, and it's your journey.
No, that's good. No, I think it's a good. I think it's a good point. Look, our whole thing is like, we choose not to talk, right? I mean, if you've been in our Discord, like, we're not talking about it, we're doing it. And at the end of the day, what we'll have to show is hopefully a thriving community that people love to be in, that is making killer films, and that, it doesn't matter the hate that's going around. At the end of the day, our names are on it because we believe in it, and we believe that we're doing something original, different, and super exciting. And so, look, next year, everyone's invited to the premiere, and we'll have a movie, and it's going to be awesome.
We're excited. And you can always do both. You can always take action and talk about it, and
that's true.
No. Yeah. But we're going by the old adage in the film industry is always like, when you're writing a script, like, show, don't tell. People don't want to hear you going, oh, here's my vacation. It's like, show them like what the story is. Don't just tell them what the character did. So like, our whole thing is like, we're just going to talk with our actions and just show people like, hey, we're delivering on what we say we're going to do. And that's why we've been hosting like the movie nights, trivia nights, doing the fireside chat AMAs to show people like, hey, this is what our community is going to be like. We're going to be bringing on producers. We're going to be like bringing on like directors, actors to talk about their movies and join us and stuff. And you guys are going to be able to ask them questions, and just the accessibility that's going to be offered.
Yeah, I want to jump back to that. Like, democratizing the access to the film process is really exciting to me. And obviously, like, we also believe in this running our own DAO. I think it's very cutting edge to implement a DAO into this process. So the question I want to ask is about the collaboration, right? Like, to varying degrees, typically there is a end all be all at some point. The producer, the director, somebody's ultimately making those decisions. Now you're integrating a DAO where the director defers to certain choices made by token holders. Yeah. So
we sort of have a system for that.
It's an opportunity, right? Like, one thing that we've found is like, individually we can make decisions a lot faster than as a whole, but at the end of the day, if we go and do that without consulting the DAO, then we're undermining the whole vision of what we're building. So like, you can't necessarily, I don't want to say you can't, it's an obstacle, right? It's an opportunity, but it's difficult to make like a on-set decision if something needs to change and like push it to the DAO.
Most of the decisions will be made before we start shooting, because once production goes, like, you just don't have time, like, especially indie movies with no money. So a lot of it will be like in like the pre-production and post-production stage. So and then that's the balance too, is you want to make sure the filmmakers are still allowing their voice to come through, right?
Yes.
So the way we've sort of designed it is, any filmmakers in the future that are going to come pitch projects will know that they have to like, give decisions to the community. But at the end of the day, like, let's say, for instance, we're doing a casting thing where it's like, hey, here's one of the roles. Here's a description of that character. and here's like 3 to 5 actors we're considering for this role. Well, those actors will be picked by the director, but then we'll put it up to the audience to see, hey, who should we make an offer to first? And you never know. Again, it's the movie industry, so that person could read the script and go, it's not for me. So then maybe we go down to like who was voted number 2 on the list, and then we kind of go through that way. So it's more of a, the director is still choosing like the 5 people that they want to go out for the role, but the community is kind of telling the director like, hey, this is the person we think would be cool for that role. So it's still on their list. So they're not just like picking some wild person out of the hat. They're still going in line with the filmmaker's vision. Another example, right? And another example we talk about is like wardrobe. Let's say there's an outfit where it's like, hey, these are 3 costume choices for this character. That director has worked with the costume department to narrow it down to 3 choices, but then the audience will go, oh, we like that, or we like this one. And then that's going to be what that character wears for the movie. So we'll be doing stuff like, when you're doing the pre-production part of the movie. And then obviously in post, we'll have some decisions as well, where it's like, hey, here's a couple music cues for this scene. Which one's like a better cue for the scene, and kind of like seeing what people feel. But the music will still be made by our composer. The director will still be like guiding them and like, helping with the decisions and stuff. Or if we have a trailer, we might put up like 3 trailers that we're like, hey, these are the cuts we're considering. Which one do you guys think sells the movie the best? Or which movie would you be most likely to see?
Yeah, and ultimate success looks like, our community write the script. One of our community members directs the script. Our community scores the movie. I mean, that would be the nirvana of the situation, that we bring together a worldwide collection of filmmakers and people who love film to become part of the creative process. I mean,
yes,
that's a long way, right? I mean, I'm not saying that's happening in March, April, May, or June, but that's the goal, right? To bring together a community, to build something that then creates together. And
absolutely,
and when you've got
Bill, the way you have it set up, and the way you're describing it, to me sounds perfect, because at a specific point, you can't have everything being micromanaged, because then the movie will never get made. At a specific point, it's almost, you have to shepherd the sheep to a point where everybody can make that decision. But then the larger decisions, like a corporation, if you own a couple of shares of Goldman Sachs, you can't literally walk into Goldman Sachs and start dictating what you want to happen.
Exactly.
You show up to the board meeting and you could say your little say, but then they could look at you and say, hey, buddy, you own 2 shares, shut up.
Yeah. I mean, look, our whole thing is like, you want to empower the creative process. You want to empower the director. We don't want it to, not everyone's the director. And we're not saying, the community gets to direct the movie outright. So, and look, and I think that within that, I think there's freedom within form, right? If everyone knows sort of all the opportunities, and look, we're talking about like it, we're in our 3-week sort of journey here. Who knows where it goes when it means and when we start to go to process? I mean, who knows? But the reality is that our integrity is in place. What we're doing and who we are as people is in place. And I think it's going to go, we're leaning way back into community. We're way back into creating opportunities for them. And, in success, all boats rise. So,
yeah. And the other thing too, that people forget is like, I mean, yes, film is a director's medium, but it is a collaboration. That's the thing that I love, is when I'm doing a movie, my whole mentality is I want to hire everyone that I'm hiring should be more talented at me and what they do. Otherwise, like, why am I hiring them? I want a cinematographer that knows cameras better than me. I want an art department person that knows color and design better than me. So it's like, it's this collaborative medium. And sometimes people forget that, and they get the whole idea of the auteur and this like, person at the top that's making all the decisions. But honestly, like when you're on set and an actor makes a choice that you as a director would have never made, and it's like, it's a magical, it's like way better than you could have thought. Or someone brings you a prop design that wasn't the way you pictured it, but you're like, this is 10 times cooler than anything I would have drew. And so it's just like, you got to remember that it's a collaboration through and through. I mean, there's so many people that make a movie. It's not just one person behind the camera calling action that puts the film together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
Bill, I want to ask a follow-up question, if possible. So I'm actually also an OG day one mint of SVS, just
Nice.
FYI.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
by the way, we have a lot of vamps out there, and I just want to call out real quick that our community manager and our 2 mods all come from the vamp community, and they have been. So it's Baloo and OG and Crisis. The 3 of them have like everything we are as a community has been built on those 3 people. So I just have to. I see them out there. It's impossible not to shout them out.
Shout out.
One of your
they're in the chat
managers
right now.
is on our team also. Mars is on our team also.
Oh yeah.
We've been talking about Mars as well.
So my main question is, have you guys thought about staking your tokens and creating tokens, so then that way, I mean, obviously going around not doing the route of creating a security with the SEC, but actually creating a token for rewards that because as you guys create tokens, you can get liquidity, and that liquidity has value to creating a project. Because if you're going to charge $400 times, 55, your budget's going to be X to make a movie, and you don't want to be in a position where I guess you run out of funds for making that movie. So I'm wondering if you thought of that as an opportunity or an option to be able to benefit and gain more funding.
Yeah, I was thinking I've still got to figure out more of the tokenomics of it, but I was considering that. It wasn't something we wanted to come out with out of the gate, because again, before I talked to any major devs, I was just kind of going within my wheelhouse of what I understood that I could do and we could pull off. But yeah, I always thought of it'd be interesting if we could do a staking mechanism where we have a token, maybe it's called I sort of I was we'll call it stubs or something, ticket stubs, and then you could earn stubs and trade those in for things let's say we wanted to do tickets to the premiere, things that you can basically exchange them for, that have no monetary value, but within the community, to be
Correct.
Things that you can use for certain things. But yeah, we got to just figure out again after talking to an attorney, to again stay away from the SEC stuff and all that. But yeah, we always sort of saw that if we needed to, then we're doing lower budget movies. So this first mint will get us 2, hopefully 3 movies, plus all I don't know if you've looked at the waterfall in the white paper. So the profits from the movie will go back into the community wallet to fund future movies. Yeah. But then we also have we don't want to be a closed community of only 5,000 people, and usually there's a lot of people that hold multiples. So you're never you want to get as close to the full supply as possible. But down the road, you want to open it up the way that the vamps are adding the female vamps, and now they're doing a supply that's over 10,000. So they're going to bring in a bunch more members. So we'll do if we get to that point, we can always do another mint where we're expanding the community, but then also expanding the community wallet, so that we can either decide, hey, do you guys want to make more movies, or do we want to make movies with a higher budget? Do you want to stay doing more smaller budget movies, or should we try to kick it up a notch and maybe go for a little bit bigger names and bigger production design and all that stuff? So yeah,
and Ethereum's going to the moon any day now. It's time for it to go all the way, and let's effing go, and let's go to the moon.
I love that, by the way. He's such you could tell you're so much into this space that you're to the moon. I love it.
Let's go.
We turn that into a meme. We need that a meme.
He went from he's all right, tell me, he's I know a little bit about NFTs, teach me, to full degen. So yeah.
Well, yeah. I have crypto, so I have to the moon for the crypto space. So. But yeah, you guys, I mean, we would love. Are we giving away whitelist space spots? Are we doing
I asked for our community, and if you guys are able to, I'm sure our community would love that.
Yeah, I think the way that we've been doing it with the vamps and everybody else is if your community just hops over to our Discord and drops their VeeDao NFT in the chat, and then
we told them we're going to drop a blueberry. We'll just drop a blueberry in there.
Okay, cool. Yeah, drop a blueberry in there, and then our mods will add the whitelist roll. So we're just
don't do it now because the mods are here.
Yeah. Wait till this is over.
Yeah, wait till we're done.
Congratulations, OG. I heard OG joined your team, and I think he's in here somewhere, right?
Yeah, he's there.
Yeah. He should be sleeping. I told him to go to sleep. He's been up for 30 hours, but
the kid's
you know him.
Oh,
He's
man.
a machine. But hey, do we want to ask, does your community want to ask questions?
Yeah, absolutely. I asked in the chat, and people are nervous because you have the celebrity power.
Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous.
Oh, please. There's nothing to be nervous. I promise you.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm going to bring up. We already have someone. Hold on, I'm bringing them
Okay.
up.
Cool.
Yeah, and while we wait, we can do the POAP as well. Have you guys started using POAPs for any of your movie nights or anything? Are you familiar with POAP?
Yeah, we have been doing them. It's always been a little rocky, dealing with the POAP people, because we've been trying to get a website to make it easier. But then the first one we did, they sent us a text file of all the codes, and I'm I can't give all these codes out individually, and so we're still trying to figure it out to make, because I want to keep doing it for all of our events. But yeah, we
have a great system. If you want to know, we have a great system.
Yeah.
We don't use codes. We make everybody drop, because when you do codes and then everyone starts sharing the codes like wildfire, and then the people who are there don't get them and you run out of them. So what we do is we make people who are here at the time post their address in a channel, and then we send it, and then it's coded to their address so they could just come back whenever they want to collect it.
Oh, now do you still do it through the poap.xyz, or is that a different?
Yeah, poap.xyz, you can create a delivery. So instead of getting the codes, you just provide all of the address. It's basically a whitelist for the POAP. So by putting by
that's
putting
great.
your wallet address in the channel, which it's open to everybody. I just linked it. It's the request POAP channel at the top of the server. Then I send all those addresses to POAP, and they send me back a website where if you put in your wallet address, you can claim the POAP. Otherwise, you're not allowed to.
That's hot.
Okay. Oh, that's great. I gotta
Yeah.
do that because we did the second one we did the secret word. And yeah, I was trying
Right,
to.
those are disaster.
But it leaks so
Yeah.
fast. Yeah.
You get
Yeah,
leaked
that's the
out, and then
problem.
everybody. Yeah,
And
if you
people are
want,
collecting
you'll
other
connect with
people's-
us after the AMA, and we'll walk you through it.
Yeah. We'll be
Oh,
happy
that'd
to
be great.
help.
Awesome.
Let's say
Appreciate that.
hello to Canope. Hey, Canope.
What's up, Canope?
Hey.
Hey, Konop.
Konop.
Matthew, a big fan of VeeDao and Grimm's as well.
Wow, dude, I heart your face. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate it.
No worries. I'm working on like NFT related to like Dungeons and Dragons and RPGs, and there's so much like outright hatred of NFTs in that community. I was wondering if you had any thoughts on that, how I might combat that as I'm trying to make like
Oh God,
Dungeons
I mean,
and Dragons NFT.
yeah, you'll. I mean, Bill
You're
can
talking to
attest
the
to the
right man. I'll
fact.
tell you that.
Yeah, Bill can
You're talking
attest
to
to
the
the
right
fact.
man.
I mean, I just think, look, here's my suggestion, and this is, look, at some point. So I run a company called VeeDao and Grimm's. We create high-end boxed editions for Dungeons and Dragons, Critical Role, Pathfinder. It's 5 best friends. We were having a midlife crisis when we started this company 3 years ago, and it's taking off and doing great. And it's awesome. And it's a bunch of, it's like my best friend left his career this weekend. We had a retreat. He left his career to work full-time for the company. And he's the second one to leave his career to work full-time doing what he loves. And it's really awesome. So the second time I posted, I got an honorary from the Vamps, and I posted it on my Twitter because I was super proud, and it was my first NFT, and I was really excited. And the amount of vitriol I got back, I eventually, like, one of my partners called and said, "Dude, you've got to take this off." And I'm like, "That's fine, it's fine." And then my manager, my acting manager called me and said, "Dude, what is going on?" And so I finally took it down. And so, I didn't tweet about this Spaces because I can't jeopardize my livelihood. I put my name on this because I believe in it, but at the same time, I can't be the one to cut through all the misinformation and hate out there. So my suggestion for you is, I would just stay docs. Docs is not the right word. Docs is when they see you, right? You stay anonymous and create something within the community, and and continue to build and provide, so that at the end of the day, you're like, "Hey, look what I did," and and let your work do the talking, because I just think it's really hard. It's really hard. And then focus on the NFT space, because look, we have a bunch of people in the space today, and I think that they're supporters. And I think there are tens of thousands, there's millions of people out there buying NFTs, and you just have to find those people and stay away from, you hit the people that are doing D&D and NFTs at the same time. But
it's funny because there's so much like crossover. Like, I don't know if you know Loot, or like there's lots of like RPGs.
Yeah, exactly. I was just gonna say, like, all the loot, like the treasure, and there's so many like the wizards. Like, there's a lot of ones that are starting with like basically the video game NFT versions of D&D. So there's a community out there that's like looking for that stuff. So I think focusing on bringing those people in, it should be like step one, and then slowly more and more people will trickle in from there, because then those people will be in other communities.
Collabs to begin with, until the heat dies down on us.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you, man.
Yeah,
I see OG. What's up, OG?
Yeah, please say hello. OG?
OG, you're still muted.
You're muted, my friend.
He fell asleep.
I love that.
Blame him.
I love that vamp though. Looks great.
Oh, it's so sexy.
Oh, well, why we wait for him? Does somebody else want to go?
Yeah, I've actually got a follow up for you, Matt. So like,
great.
I totally empathize and agree. Like, because you already have a platform, you can't take on the burden of like convincing the world of it. It's just a waste of time to convince, right? Like, I love the advice you just gave, which is like, show with your actions and let it play out.
Right.
But I wonder for you, and maybe sort of speculating on the public, like what was the thing that made NFTs like quote unquote make sense? Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Great question. Like for me, I believe in crypto. So I've, been holding crypto for a year now, a little over a year. And look, I woke up, I had a dream. And somebody mentioned crypto to me, and I woke up the next day. I'm like, oh my God, I had this crazy, super vivid dream about crypto. And then I started to dig into it and tried to understand it in a deeper level and understand the purpose and why and the potential for world-changing technology, and so I jumped in, and so the more I started to jump in, the more I started to appreciate blockchain and the future, and when Bill and NFTs, look, I didn't get it. I didn't get NFTs at all. Everything I read about NFTs was like a collector's piece, and I'm like, I'm not really a collector. And when you're talking about Bored Apes and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so much money. And I didn't understand the power. And honestly, it wasn't until Bill came to me and said, that is one aspect of NFTs. And then there's this aspect of utility. And it was in the idea of like, all pretty much, most of the money that we make goes back in the wallet. The utility is super clear as to what we're doing. And it made sense to me, right? The idea of like, can we make cool movies and can we do it as a community? So that's what really jumped me in. And since then, I've been trying to educate myself as much as possible so that I get on these spaces and don't say things like I don't use the word doxed in the wrong way.
Sure. Yeah. It's a rabbit hole. Like as soon as you dip your toe in the water, you're submerged. You just go down.
Yeah, and it's been really enticing. I mean, I find there's a thing in meditation called following your charm, and so I'm following what's turning me on right now in this space, and the more I fall into it, the more I'm finding community, the more I'm finding fellowship. I mean, the same reason that people go to the theater, the same reason I have people coming over tonight to read a screenplay in my house. We're doing that to hear the words, but we're also doing it to hang out and be in fellowship. And I think that that's in a real way. I mean, that's what we're trying to create in our Discord, right? You're trying to create people that like hanging with other people, and that's super satisfying.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely the ritual of theater that's still like going into a dark space and staring at a screen. Like it's not just the light, like it's also the vibration and feeling the presence of everybody there, the shared story journey. Yeah, that's why when you go to a Marvel movie opening weekend, there's like that experience is like you'll never forget it. So look, it's and that's that's look, and we think that we're doing something cool that's gonna mint out and bring people success, right? I think that if we can build something cool, that is going to have value to people. So the idea of buying a Midnight Movie Club token, has value to our community, has value to be a part of the community, and then you'll be able to, if you want to get out, to turn it and make a profit because we're going to build something different, Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, it's both sides. Like we're trying to do the business side, and we're trying to make it valuable for people that join us on the journey. Well, yeah, and you're also going to be the first of a thing, right? You're going to be the first decentralized movie studio. And I was thinking earlier, you have the benefit of time, like all of these things that you were talking about, like whether the community chooses the actor or chooses the casting director, or a little bit of both, the costumes, the Easter eggs, like that's always going to be a conversation because you don't know what's going to happen next, and you have to react like to the moment. You have to follow the charm, as it were. It's funny. Sense. It's it's exhilarating and scary at the same time. I think I said to OG today on a DM, I'm like, what are we going to make it? Do you think we're doing the right thing? I mean, there's so much, there's insecurity, I mean, we're kicking ass, and everyone in Hollywood and everyone in the world wants to say, oh, we're going to ape into this. It's going to be amazing. And still at the same time, I mean, it's exhausting. We're building, but there's that sense of insecurity, and you just want to make sure that you're doing everything right and building the best possible way and build it with integrity and try to just make something, I don't know, make something cool that people like. Yeah. And there's those moments of like, oh gosh, are we doing it right? Right, Bill? Is that crazy?
Yeah, no, totally. Cause I mean, again, you got to remember, like being in the film industry, we are so like just inundated with rejection at every step of the way. Like, Matt, how many auditions have you gone on versus how many roles you've got? Like, how many times have I got a movie that's gotten really close, and then like you worked on it for like a year and a half, and then at the last minute, like, oh, this investor decided to like pull their funding, and they're doing, it's like you're just it's like rejection. So you're always like expecting failure, and then when something happens, so you're just sort of like anticipating that. But again, the NFT space is very different, so it's just kind of like recalibrating,
Yeah. Let's say hello
So
to.
I gotta come in and say we are gonna make it
We
all
are,
day long.
we are gonna make it.
1000% faith in this project in this community.
Yeah.
OG,
Thank
you
you,
are like
OG.
you are my
Yeah,
spirit. You
so
are
much
my
better.
spirit animal. You are my spirit animal.
Oh, all day, bro, all day. I'm just following you around, hyping you up.
Why do you like OG? Why do you believe in it so much?
A lot of NFTs are just like what you say. It's just a picture, or it's just hype. This is a real project, actually doing real things in real life. We're doing real things in the metaverse. We're bringing people together. We're doing things in the movie industry that nobody has ever done before. Pioneers. We're pioneers. And it's huge. It's huge. This is enormous. I'm not, I'm a pretty smart man. I've been doing this stuff for, a little while. And when I see something like this, with these two guys attached, you jump on it as fast as you can.
See, that's why he's my spirit animal.
Absolutely. And we
Let's go.
all need that person to give us perspective when we're like in the mud to like remind us what we're building. Yeah.
Well, saying the same thing about Gary Vee, right? That's his words are like, dude, when you're in the mud and you're fighting through and it speaks to you, it's really powerful.
I want to throw to Arachno. Welcome to the stage, my friend.
Hello.
Hey.
It's me, Lillardling Zero.
Nice.
Again, it's me. I'm back. Okay. So yeah, OG was speaking facts. Do not be sad. It's me again preaching. You are gonna make it. Anyways, I really liked when you talked about the art department stuff. I don't have a specific question, but maybe you can talk about it some more because I'm curious about it. If you have anything else.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the art department. So everyone, I don't know, people may not know. Thank you for saying that, Lillardling Zero. Look, the art department is responsible for making the look of the movie, right? They sort of design aspects of, like, if you were going to walk into a dentist's office, like they designed that dentist's office. So, the whole thing of like, can you pull elements from their community to make these spaces feel individual and specific? And they're the ones that sort of make the feel. I mean, if you think of a movie like, Dune, the art department is creating every single element of that look and feel of the movie. So, look, we're going to create opportunities in every department if that's what people are turned on by. And if they're qualified, that's our goal. Our goal is to hire our people. So, but thanks for your question.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Awesome. Love
See
it.
you, cheese man.
I want to let everybody know, and for you two as well, or Bill and Matt, like, please grab your Ethereum address and drop it in the POAP channel. So, or if it's easier,
is it the POAP request or
POAP request. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yep. Just put your address there, and then we'll send you the link in a couple days when we get the codes back.
Thank you.
I see we got a couple people requesting up. That's awesome. So if you're new to this POAP process, you have to drop your full alphanumeric wallet address in the request POAP channel. It's linked in the voice channels text, or you can find it at the top of the channel list, and then come back in a few days and the link will be available for you to claim it.
Bill, do you want me to send over to Matt? I have an actual sheet with keywords for the space. It's like an urban dictionary, but for Web3. Because I was so proud when Matt used the word aped in, and I knew you can use it properly. As he said it, you heard in his tone, he's like, I hope I'm using this right. I hope I'm using this right.
Yeah,
I'm doing great.
You're doing great.
It's funny how the word doxed. It's funny how the word doxed sounds like it should be the opposite of what it really means.
Exactly.
When I was like, not what it sounds like it means.
And Matt, when you're done pasting your wallet address over there, just copy your seed phrase and send that to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'll take care of that.
I know exactly what I'm not supposed to post anything to anyone ever.
But here's a question. Before we throw it to the other Matt Maz, who's on stage, do you have a hardware wallet yet, Matt?
I do, yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
Ask me if I'm using my hardware wallet.
Are you using your hardware wallet?
I am not, but I got scared this week that I got that somebody got in my DMs, and I thought I'd screwed something up, but I didn't. So it's scared that
it was just me.
You have to build. I'm shocked you're that open with everybody in there. It's great that you're doing that, but it leaves you exposed tremendously.
Yeah, no, all my DMs are closed. I mean, the only reason you're on there is because other people let you in.
No, but you're always right. The DMs, right? You're in the chat. My bad.
Yeah. My DMs are closed.
Yeah.
All right, good.
Good. For what it's worth.
Yeah, and one thing I wanted to say earlier was, we're like with the glossary and stuff, like we're very much about educating our audience, because there's a lot of people that are new to NFTs because they came, looking for Matt. So I put together a bunch of guides of like how to set up a wallet. Here's a glossary of terms.
Mm-hmm.
We constantly have reminders in our chat of like a robot that tells people, hey, close your DMs. Here's how to turn it off. And so we're really about educating people. And one of the things that we kind of implemented that I haven't really seen done before is we decided, because there's a lot of people that didn't know and we're trying to figure out who they could turn to. So we opened up our Discord where you could claim a role. So you can claim a Padawan role if you're new to NFTs. You can claim a Jedi role if you're kind of a pro. And that way people could kind of see each other, because there's a little emoji that appears next to your name in our chat. So you'll know, oh, this person's new and needs some help, or this is someone that knows what they're doing and I can go to them. So we're really all about like bringing the community in. And we have some people that came in and didn't know what an NFT was, like Serial Mom.
Cereal.
Like, yeah,
exactly.
And then she got our first NFT when we were on the Chain Runners Hackers Trivia. One of their members, not even one of the team, gave her a Chain Runners NFT for coming in first in the trivia, and she was so excited, and it was a great experience to see someone that had no idea what they were, and now is like I'm starting to see her go full DGen, where she's like in their chats and she's like looking at other things to buy. It's just great to see that whole process from beginning.
Just so you guys also know, for first, we're one of the only ones that we have our own dedicated mental health category with dedicated mods and professionals that only deal with mental health, with our own our mental health support bot that gives private one-on-one sessions.
No, that's awesome.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah, and it's worth.
It's real people. We have a real dedicated mod that does not mod anywhere other than that mental health channel, and a professional medical professional that also assists with that as well.
Yeah, the bot isn't a bot. It's just a support ticket bot, but
it's just a support ticket for mental health.
Oh,
so if you want
that person.
Yeah,
I
so
thought the bot was giving you advice.
What's that?
Yeah, it's like a
I thought
crystal
the
ball.
bot was doing like
no.
Problems.
No,
because we have that channel where people can post whatever they want openly. But if you don't want anyone to know what's going on in your life, you could do it privately. That only that mod will see, so you could have a one-on-one.
That's awesome.
Oh,
I mean, with VeeDao and Grimm's, we work with a couple organizations, and we're putting together a mental health talk with Alpha Girls next week, actually.
Oh, awesome.
And doing like a big, stages moment, and talking all about mental health in gaming and in in the whole space. So
I actually minted the number 9 of Alpha Girls, the 9 rarity.
That's
awesome.
Nice.
I sold it like a week into it because I thought that project was not going to get minted out because it was staled out after like a week or two.
Oh, it did? Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. But I read. Matt's been sitting there. I feel bad.
Let's go to Matt. Hey, bud.
Your PFP is so handsome.
No, it's all good. Thank you, guys. First of all, Jeremy Cohen, thank you for putting this together. This is amazing. Matthew and Bill, this is the first time I've heard of the project. I'm actually super excited about this. I've been a massive fan, Matt, for quite a while, but I love this idea of decentralized movie studios and having the community, be able to, voting and direct sort of where it goes and how to build out these productions. So the question I have for you guys is, from a channel distribution perspective, are you guys aiming for theatrical releases? Are you aiming for streaming? Are you channel agnostic? And are you going to allow the sort of community to vote on which channels it goes into? Or are you guys trying to maximize like profitability? Would love to just understand the process of how you determine where it goes, theatrically or streaming.
Absolutely. So our goal is, I mean, we kind of have to wait until after Mint to really start approaching people. Like we've talked with Matt's publicist, and we want to go out and try to get articles written in the trades and stuff. But they kind of want to wait till there's a story. So we're thinking after that happens, we want to try to start setting up meetings at various places to see if we can get an overall deal or a first look deal. Let's say like a streamer, like a Netflix, Amazon, Shudder, any of those places, if they're interested, where they're going to say, hey, we're going to we'll either be the first look where you bring any project that the MMC does and we'll consider putting it on our platform, or just signing an overall deal where it's like every movie you do, we will buy and put on our platform. But yeah, I think the overall goal is kind of the profitability to keep the movie, to keep the community wallet funded so we can do more movies. So the thing with theatrical is it's very expensive and it eats a lot of cost. Like it costs a lot of money to release a movie in a theater, because then there's a lot more payouts. So, but I think it's going to be more of a project-to-project thing. What we're always talking about is we're hoping we're going to have a movie that'll be like the next It Follows that we can go theatrical with. But if some movies are more profitable because the deal that we can get on a streaming service that really wants the movie, we'll get immediately money going back from the community wallet to finance the next couple films. Like, obviously, we're going to take the sure thing versus taking a chance with theatrical. But again, I think it's going to be kind of a as we go sort of thing. I mean, Matt, unless you have like a different
I think
forgetting anything.
I think it all depends, right? If you make the next Saw, God knows where it goes. But I think when it comes to, at some point, somebody's going to have to run the sort of business side of it as to where something ends up living, right? I mean, if you have 3 different offers and they have 3 different sort of financial packages, I think Bill and we're going to hire people. Once we meet, we're going to hire film professionals. That is our goal. But collectively, we'll have to decide where the movie goes, so that it can be the most beneficial for the community. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it absolutely does. Does that also include like the festival circuit, if that is the route that you guys choose as the best route for the movie?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. It just depends, right? So if we look, the best case, if I had to draw, like if I had to say, this is my best case scenario, this would be awesome, is that if we got a deal at like a Netflix and said, all right, you guys go make a movie, we're going to hang your banner, like we're going to be a Midnight Movie Club sort of series of films on Netflix, so that our community, and we start to build like a niche following, that would be awesome, right? Because then you're building content, it's landing somewhere, you have a revenue stream coming through. That would be perfect. So if that doesn't happen, right, say we can't develop that relationship, then we'll go play festivals, right? We'll get out there, we'll get in front of distributors, we'll get in front of the world so that they can see the movies. And that's, a lot of times that's how movies get bought, right? So movies are constantly bought at Slam Dance. They're constantly bought at film festivals like Sundance. So, if we don't sell right out the box to a streamer or to a studio that wants to pick up the movie, then we'll go that more traditional festival route. But once the movie's done, our community will be able to see it. It's not going to be dependent on where it ends up eventually. Like, we want at the end of production to share with the community the movie that we collectively made. So that's not going to be prohibitive in any way.
Yeah, at the end of the day, the focus is always, what best benefits the community to keep us making movies and kind of keep allowing us to bring on new filmmakers with new projects and the longevity, of the community.
I absolutely love it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to aping into your project once the mint gets announced and the mint price and all of that stuff. So thank you both for doing this. I'm so excited. Jeremy.
Drop your blueberry in so you can get whitelisted.
That's what we love to
Absolutely.
hear.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. Thank you for your question.
I like it when people are like ready to ape in. Like they listen to us like, I'm in, I want in.
Oh, yeah.
That's my
the
favorite.
Our biggest thing right now is just getting the word out there and getting people to read our white papers. Because I feel like we have some pretty dope white papers, I'm not going to lie. I just want to get them out there, get eyeballs on it, and show people what we're doing.
That's the thing that, everyone has to understand. Like, our goal of being here today is to introduce you to what we're doing, to speak about, what we're trying to create. But the reality is that our ask, if you had to ask us what our ask is that if we are speaking truth to you, that you understand, like you're into it, if you are turned on by what we're saying, like just tell people, because that's what we need. We need to open other communities. We need to get in to do other AMAs. Like the more we can connect with the community, the more people speak about us, the more traction we get and the better chance we have of really building something epic. So that's
Yeah, and go to our Twitter and follow us and blow up all of our tweets for us. That helps a lot too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll
we're
grab
gonna
your
delete-
Twitter right now.
Have you guys thought about what you're going to do for your actual image? Because since you're doing a utility project, the art doesn't really matter as much as a lot of the projects that need to do art. Have you put thought into what you're going to do? Or like, I was actually thinking of wondering if you guys actually maybe turned it into like a mini video or a mini movie with Matt doing something inside there as people's tokens. Have you guys put thought into
our
that?
Tokens are like, you can kind of see mine and Matt's profile pics. We have our little popcorn mascot token.
Oh, I
That's what we're
see
gonna
it.
be
Oh,
doing.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, so those are gonna be like homages to all kinds of different genre movies. And what's gonna be really cool is we're working on, I haven't really seen this done much in the space, maybe in Top Shot and stuff, but we wanna, some of the movies that we have homages to, we're gonna try to see if we can get the celebrities that portray those characters to autograph like our one of ones. So there'll be like obviously a Matthew Lillard one of one, Scream one that's autographed, and we're not gonna say who we're getting yet because we don't want to make any promises, but we're talking to some people to try to do that. But yeah, I'm actually drawing them myself. I'm actually driving up this weekend to do a little cabin trip to just draw a bunch of them out, which has been so much fun. But yeah, like you said, the focus is on the utility. So for now, we're doing this. If we do a Gen 2, we'll probably bring on an artist that we want to feature to bolster that person and kind of showcase their work. But yeah, that's kind of like where we're at with that stuff.
I actually like your
just a little-
popcorns. I think they're super cool.
Oh, thanks.
Actually,
Yeah.
Cool. I was super nervous when I drew it. I'm like, is anyone gonna want these? I'm like, I kind of just started like doodling different ideas. And what's also fun is after we mint, what we're gonna do is we're gonna hold a contest for our community members, and we're gonna do a naming contest because everyone's like, oh, what's the name of the popcorn mascot? And we're like, well, you guys are gonna decide after the mint. So that's gonna be one of our early DAO choices. Is somebody's gonna come up with a cool name for him or her, and we're gonna go with it.
are you going
Nice.
to keep all the images like rated G, or are you going to go like rated R, like a couple of popcorns, smoking a bowl, or?
There's some. There's, since it is genre films, there are a couple that are a little bit bloodier, and because we got some horror movie stuff in there.
I don't think we're
yeah.
going to add weed. I don't know what movie
Yeah.
that is, but I guess you have stoner movies and genre movies.
That's
right.
right.
Are you guys familiar
that's
with?
a big part of all the horror movies.
Are you familiar with Mila Kunis's and Ashton and Seth MacFarlane's Stoner Cats?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so it would be an interesting collaboration with your popcorn guys, because
That's
we
hilarious.
Absolutely.
we had the creator on, I think, right before the weekend. She was
no
on.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to do an introduction, we've been loving to try to get a hold of their team. Like, we just don't know anybody over there.
I'm friends with. Actually, on last week also we had Rob Weiss there. They're actually doing the first
nice.
TV show that's being tokenized, SEC full SEC compliance. It's being funded by crypto, and the TV show is about crypto. It's a TV series.
I sent Matt the link.
Yeah,
to
it's
that
awesome.
It was in like Variety or Deadline or something. It's very exciting.
Yeah.
If you want me to
there
connect you with them also, I could connect you with them also.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. Yeah, there's a couple other. We saw something a while ago that Scorsese announced something, and we've talked to people that have tried to do NFT stuff in the space, but it was more of like, oh, the buzzword is NFT, so we're just gonna like add that to our movie, and they don't really understand like the community. Like again, I've been in the community for months, which feels like years, but I just see the ingenuineness of what they're doing, where they're like, oh, here you can buy a movie still from our film and pay $1,000, and now you have the NFT. And I was like, well, yeah, but what's the point of it? Like, what's the utility? What does it get you? And they're like, oh no, it's a collectible. And it's like, I don't think it really works that way because your movie is not like made yet. There's no fan base. Like, why would someone want to collect something that hasn't come out? I don't know. To me, I was like, I don't really think you guys get it.
There are a lot of specific special, well, I'll call them special projects that are out there that people just think you slap something on it and you could throw the word utility, or you could throw the word PFP, and people
Metaverse is a big one everyone's throwing around these
Yeah.
days, but they don't really understand. And
So I know we're kind of at time. Do you guys have time for one more question?
Yeah, sure.
So this is a bit of a loaded question from the crowd, but in the spirit of value, you've both sort of navigated creative careers, which is pretty difficult. And I think that even something that you just said of like talk to people about what you're doing is a big tip for this. But to ask you a loaded question, how can someone build a career as an artist? either, you know, Matt, if you want to speak to acting and movie club or Bill as a filmmaker.
Yeah.
I think it just goes into the whole, you know, Malcolm Gladwell 10,000 hours. You just got to do it. Like, so many people I talk to, and I have friends, you know, that like are very talented, but they get so nervous where you know, they try to make their first film, their short film, perfect, and you know, perfect is the enemy of good. It's like, just get it done. Nobody's first movie is perfect. Like, the only way you learn is by doing it over and over again. You can read as many books as you want, but if you don't pick up a camera and go shoot and try to edit stuff, like, you're not going to actually learn and improve. Like, my first works are garbage. Like, I don't want anyone to ever see them, but it's great to look back at it and go, wow, I've come a long way. But if I would have like been so like scared stiff and never tried it, like, and just worried about making it absolutely, you know, picture perfect, like, I would have never done anything. So it's like, just keep doing it, keep trying, hone your craft, like, do the research, watch a lot of movies, read a lot of, the biggest thing that blows my mind is so many writers don't read scripts. And I think the biggest thing of writing is reading. Like, see how other people are crafting stuff, see what it looks like on the page. I don't know, that's my big thing, is just do it, basically. Go to the old Nike slogan. Just do it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I teach all the time, and it's the one thing I teach. I try to instill in artists this sense of perseverance, that there is no end, right? You can get a movie and you think you're done, and you think, oh my God, if I could just get a movie, and that movie just makes you want another movie, and you get a TV show, that TV show just makes you want another TV show. So I guess my point is that same thing with Bill. You have to jump in, zero fear, and you have to look past any sort of success and consider it as a lifetime journey. You know, there are good times, there are bad times, and there are incredible moments and, you know, humiliating moments. And the reality is that if you love it and it fills you with passion and it fills your life with purpose, then none of those things matter. But look, and there's no, I am not special. I'm not exceptionally beautiful. I'm not that smart. Like, my mom and my dad weren't in this industry. I grew up in Detroit. And I found something I loved, and I just did it, and I chased it. So just go out and get that shit.
Yeah, and one thing I always like to bring up is that both Matt and I, like, our first experiences on a movie set were as extras. Like, we were just background, and, you know, it's like anything you can do just to, I mean, there's no right or wrong, you know, way to get into the industry. So it's like, just get started. You never know where it's going to go. Yeah, like Matt, like, again, I didn't come from a film family. My dad was a fireman, you know, and like getting on a set, which is a great experience. And then you got the bug, like, once you just get in there. So yeah, any opportunities, take them. Always say yes when you're starting out, obviously.
Totally. And even when you're at the middle and at the end, like, you have to learn how to say no too, but like, but
the power of no is real in Hollywood. Saying no comes with a lot of power, but you got to do a bunch of yes work first, and then work your way up there.
Yeah, Kathleen Turner said the first movie I ever did was a movie called Serial Mom, and Kathleen Turner said the only power you have in this industry is the power of no, because once you say yes, you give up all your power. So look, that's what this is about. I mean, literally, we're out here going, well, let's just do it.
Yes.
We have no idea how it's going to end up, and we have no idea where it's going, but we're both fully committed. And I just think that is, you know, if there's an artist out there and you're like, I don't know, I'm scared, I got a day job, I need to make sure people don't judge me, or what if I don't make it? My whole thing is, like, if you commit with everything, you may never act a day in your life, but that commitment and that joy and that journey will take you to something else that will fulfill you just as much. So, like, just full commitment is the way the universe sees that you're serious and will support you. So
yeah,
just jump.
I also did the same thing, just diving in, and I purposefully never gave myself a safety net. Like, a lot of my friends were like, oh, you're going to film school, what else are you studying just in case? And I was like, there is no just in case. Like, I have to do this, or I don't know what I'm going to do. And I've seen a lot of friends that would have like their backup plan, and then like once things didn't work out right away, they would just fall back to that. And the thing is, again, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So you just kind of got to be in it for the long haul, and you can't expect things to happen overnight.
Yeah.
People also think that the process is instant. They don't realize you start off way at the bottom, and then you build and you eat shit and you grind. And people only see the final process, and they think like, oh, you just woke up on a Monday and on a Wednesday you had this career.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's a famous kind of saying in Hollywood where it's like, oh yeah, he was an overnight success. It only took 10 years, kind of thing. Where it's just like people only see that part of it. They don't see this person grinding for 10 plus years, and they get that role that breaks them out, and they go, oh, this person came out of nowhere. It's like, no, that person was working their ass off behind the scenes.
I mean, the hardest time I had in my career was after Scooby-Doo 2. I mean, $1 gazillion, and I'm like, oh, I got it made. I'm set, and then I started not working. So it got real humiliating real fast, and listen, it goes up and down, and the only thing that got me through was the sense of like it's more than just this moment; it's about a lifetime. So, hey, you guys, thank you so much for having us. If everyone
Likewise
wants to jump into our Discord, drop a blueberry. We'll put you on the white list. Tell your peoples, tell your friends. We're just, Jeremy, Cohen, thank you so much. We're super grateful. OG, thank you for setting this up. It's just been really awesome.
Yeah, thank you guys.
We're really,
We're
really,
humbled.
really grateful.
We're humbled. Thank you, Matt and Bill, for coming in. We're really grateful and appreciative.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Big
Appreciate
thank you to
reaching
both
out.
of you, and can't wait to see the community grow. I'll be in there.
Hell yeah!
Excellent.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah, thanks a lot. This has been great. I just wanted to say too, everything that they just said about movies, you can also apply to every aspect of your life, even if it's not about movies or acting or anything like that. I mean, it's just great advice all around, and these are great guys, and it's just great to have everybody together and talking about
To
it.
the moon, baby.
So thank you very much.
Yeah.
Love it.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Yeah, much love.
All right.
Thanks.
We'll see you at the next one.
Thank you.
Take care.
All right, guys.
That's it. Bye.
Bye.
See you.
Wow. Thank you, everyone, for being here. That was a thrill. I hope so in the voice channels text, you can get the Discord link, you can get the white paper, you can get the Twitter. Like, please go support these guys. You can see they're doing really genuine work. It only took me 10 minutes in their Discord to like see that there's real legs to this project. So like, please go check it out. You don't have, if you're not in a position to mint, like don't be concerned about that, but participate in this revolution. This is a cutting edge project. Like anybody who's working on a DAO is really at the forefront of what's going on in the space. And at the very least, you stand to learn a lot by just watching how the process goes. And, over time, if you decide to mint, then you make that decision. And I think you probably will find yourself happy. The POAP channel is closed. So thank you for everybody who participated in that. If you can't find the Discord link, it's in the pins for voice channels text. What else? We'll be back tomorrow with Andy K, the president of VeeFriends, for an AMA. And I think we're talking about doing that one on Twitter Spaces. Is that right, CJ?
It's still determined. I'm not sure.
TBA. We might do it as normal here in the Discord. We might do it on Twitter for a little more exposure. We'll figure that out. We'll let you know. Check the announcements. Otherwise, big thank you to OG, to all of you for being here, to Matt, to Bill, and we will see you tomorrow. Anything else you want to add, CJ?
No, I think we're good. We're grateful. We're appreciative. Everybody jump into that Discord, take a big fat picture of a blueberry and just drop it in there, and you guys will get whitelisted. I think this is one of those projects. This is not a project that you're going for an ROI to flip or get money on your project. This is a project to be part of an experience of something. Look back in 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years from now and say, wow, I was part of that first studio that did this. I was part of that first. It's like, it's like being like having, getting a Gmail address and my name is steven@gmail.com. This is where you're at.
I love that. Cool. Well, we'll see you in the server, and otherwise have a great night or good morning wherever you are. Bye, everyone. Fun times. Good fucking fun times. Thank you so much for tuning in. My gratitude to you. I hope you enjoyed that. A lot of fun. I wanted to get that question in about making it as an artist at the end. There's no one size fits all. And I don't know. I think it's easy to forget that, like, we really have a great opportunity here. So like whatever your creative art form is, your outlet, your expression, your niche, the thing that you're interested in, like get after it, go for it. I think you can really make something of it. And I'm wishing you the best. So this was an AMA with Bill Werde and Matthew Lillard, the creators of the Midnight Movie Club NFT. And I'm Jeremy, the Hard Trooper number 7. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much. Peace.